A classmate was mutilated by bullies, tortured day after day in the most brutal ways. Until one day, she hired a thug for terrible revenge, and he showed those bullies what real brutality looks like. Life at a Chinese high school is in full swing as students prepare for their university entrance exams, which are just 2 months away. Chen notices that one of her classmates seems tense and lost in thought. During class, she doesn't immediately hear the screams coming from the schoolyard because she's wearing headphones. When she finally looks, she sees the body of that same girl lying on the pavement. Students are recording the scene on their phones. Chen quietly walks over and covers the girl's body with her jacket. Later, everyone starts speculating about why she decided to jump and who might have driven her to it. A detective questions Chen, asking if she was close to the victim or had noticed any strange behavior. When Chen says they weren't even friends, the officer pointedly asks why she decided to cover the body with her jacket. When Chen returns to class, she finds a puddle of red liquid on her chair. A cruel prank that mirrors how Xiao Bei, the girl who jumped, had been bullied before. Chen is still new to the school and hasn't had the chance to make friends. At home, life isn't easy either. Her mother is deep in debt, and when loan collectors come to threaten them, Chen has to hide on the floor. The next day, the school installs bars on the windows to prevent another tragedy. But that doesn't stop the bullying. In the cafeteria, 3 girls who used to torment Xiao Bei start picking on Chen. On her way home, they push her to the ground and demand to know what she told the police. Chen's mother sells counterfeit cosmetics to save money for her daughter's college tuition. Despite their struggles, Chen remains one of the school's top 10 students. Every morning before dawn, her mother goes out to sell the fake products, while Chen hurries straight home after school to avoid trouble. One evening, she witnesses 3 thugs beating up a man in an alley and calls the police. The gang notices her and grabs her before she can escape. They steal her backpack, force her to kneel, and cruelly demand that she kiss the man they were beating. To make them stop, Chen reluctantly does it, pressing her lips to his. Summoning his last bit of strength, the young man suddenly stands and punches one of the attackers. Without saying a word to Chen, he limps away. Later that night, the same stranger finds Chen again and returns the money the bullies stole from her. He even starts fixing her torn backpack. His name is Xiao Bei, and he's been living on the streets, surviving by dealing in stolen parts. Soon, Xiao Bei offers Chen a deal that will change both of their lives. Chen initially refused his offer. She was planning to enroll in a prestigious university, while he was just an ordinary street punk. Despite her refusal, Xiao Bei insisted on walking her home. When they arrived, the walls of Chen's house were plastered with dozens of posters featuring her mother's photo. Each one reading, "Don't trust the scammer." The next day in class, chaos erupted. A picture of those posters had been sent to all of Chen's classmates. Most likely, it was the work of the main bully, Wei Lai. Overwhelmed and humiliated, Chen burst into tears and ran out of the classroom. Xiao Bei found her and picked her up on his motorcycle, taking her to his small rundown shack on the outskirts of town. He cooked her a bowl of noodles to comfort her. Chen had to turn off her phone. Her inbox was flooded with cruel and mocking messages. At one point, Xiao Bei bluntly asked if she liked him or if she wanted to sleep with him. Then he cornered her against the wall, warning her that he wasn't a good guy. Later, during gym class, her classmates continued to ignore her. Wei Lai threw a ball at her head and another one between her legs. That was the final straw. Chen snapped, but soon after, the same bully shoved her down the stairs. Wei Lai made it clear she wasn't going to leave Chen alone anytime soon. One of Chen's classmates urged her to just endure it for one more month. After that, they'd all leave for Beijing. Chen agreed. She was stronger than the late Xiao Bei after all. But in her mind, everyone else was weak. Chen finally decided to tell Detective Jian about the bullies who had tormented her classmate. Each of them denied any involvement, claiming that Xiao Dai's death was her own fault.
陈念和我们关系特别好，平时我们也经常在一起开开玩笑什么的。
Or even her mother's for being too demanding. Some even said Xiao Dai's death wasn't a tragedy, since her mother received a large compensation afterward. The detectives continued their investigation and interviewed other students.
一定还会这样做着。你小时候为什么欺负人？
A senior colleague told Jian that school bullying cases were always complicated. People were either victims once themselves, bullies in the past, or the ones who simply looked away.
把他们同班男孩给活活打死。
Eventually, all 3 bullies were expelled from school. One girl's mother fell to her knees, begging for mercy. Another's father publicly beat his daughter in front of her former classmates. Chen's homeroom teacher told her she did the right thing, but as a result, he was fired too. Detective Jian shared Chen's frustration. The bullies could still take their entrance exams and move on with their lives.
我18岁以前特别不喜欢睡觉。
They deserved a harsher punishment. When Jian looked into Wei Lai's eyes, he saw it clearly. She was a true sociopath.
你说他不吃亏，谁吃亏？
没有表情。
Chen's mother soon found herself in trouble. The counterfeit face masks she had been selling caused allergic reactions among customers. For now, she had to lay low and stay away from her daughter. At school, teachers urged students to speak up and seek help if they were being bullied. In the next class photo, everyone smiled except Chen. One day, the bullies cornered her in an alley. They had a knife and even brought a cage full of rats. Chen fought back and managed to escape, eventually hiding inside a trash bin. One of the girls lagged behind and heard Chen's phone ringing inside the bin. But for some reason, she didn't expose her hiding spot. Later, the gang planned to ambush Chen outside her house, so she had no choice but to run to Xiao Bei for help.
我没有钱付给你，但是我必须得去北京。
Desperate, she asked him to protect her. She had to survive and make it to Beijing. But she had no money. That night, Xiao Bei told her to write on a piece of paper that she owed him one favor. It could be something small, like a bowl of noodles, or something much more. Who knows? Now, Xiao Bei follows Chen everywhere, protecting her on her way to and from school. Once, he even attacked Wei Lai and warned him to never bother Chen's former classmate again. Promise not to let their parents and teachers down. Xiao Bei spends his time in shady dealings and constant fights. Chen's mother wants her daughter's bodyguard to protect her. But she's also terrified of walking the streets. Xiao Bei almost always comes home bruised. He's been beaten since he was 13.
我妈带着我活不下去，她也没什么本事。
But Chen was the first person to ever ask if it hurt. They're rarely apart. At one point, a classmate thought someone was stalking Chen and offered to protect her, but she didn't need it. She and Xiao Bei were already growing closer.
我可能不是你想的那样。
Chen began to dream that they could leave this city behind together. One night, however, Xiao Bei and his friends are brought into the police station. The cops are searching for a rapist, and the girl must identify her attacker. Chen has no idea where Xiao Bei has gone or why he isn't answering his phone. Left defenseless, Chen becomes the bully's next target. They take advantage of the situation, beating her while filming everything on their phones. United in their pain. The final exams are only a few days away. Each student receives a personalized exam pass. When Chen walks into class, Everyone goes silent after seeing her appearance. 9 million students across the country sit for their exams. Parents come to support their children. Among them, Chen and her close friend Xiao Bei. The homeroom teacher gives final instructions. The ribbon is cut, and the students are guided into the school. As the envelopes containing exam questions are opened, somewhere in the city, a worker discovers a body buried in the ground. By the time the exam ends, that same body lies on a coroner's table. Fingerprints identify the deceased as the school bully, Wei Lai. Detectives begin questioning a young man whose car was seen near the crime scene.
不信你可以去问。监控拍到你的车在凶案现场附近。
Traces of blood are found in the trunk. The man recalls that Xiao Bei had borrowed his father's taxi the previous night, but refusing to betray his friend, he lies and claims the car was stolen. Meanwhile, Chen's classmates accuse her of murder,
谁是那个谁啊？我俩都被吓死了。
as they had recently tormented her cruelly. Detective Zhang obtains a phone containing a video recording, prompting police to head straight to Chen's home. She only asks for enough time to finish her remaining 2 exams, but the officers still take her to the station. Chen insists she never told anyone about the assault because she didn't want anything distracting her from her studies.
我想专心高考。
After that night, she says, she never saw Wei Lai again. On the day of the murder, Chen was studying at home, just like always. The detectives decided to release her temporarily so she could finish her exams. But how could she possibly focus now? Her mind kept drifting back to Xiao Bei and everything that had happened. When the final exams ended, all the students finally breathed a sigh of relief. Except Chen. As she walked home, Xiao Bei was waiting for her in a narrow alley. He grabbed her arm and shut the door behind them before the police officers escorting her could catch up.
没有。
我能录证据。
He demanded that Chen call for help, pretending that he was attacking her. Xiao Bei might be reckless, aimless, and headed nowhere, but he still loves Chen and wants to protect her.
我这个人什么都不是。
Being a minor, he knows he'll receive a lighter sentence. His plan is simple. He'll take the blame so that Chen can go free. When she graduates, maybe they'll meet again. To make it convincing, Xiao Bei tears Chen's clothes, kisses her goodbye, and slaps her several times in front of the police. At the station, the detectives interrogate Xiao Bei harshly. Evidence starts piling up. Traces of his skin are found under the victim's fingernails, and deep scratches mark his hand. He confesses to burying the body, burning the clothes, and deleting every photo of him and Chen. Xiao Bei tells them he harassed Wei Lai, but claims she later began following him, and in a moment of panic, he accidentally killed her. Chen, however, remembers what truly happened. Wei Lai had ambushed her, begging Chen not to report her to the police for the earlier assault. She offered her money, then, disturbingly, offered to do the same thing to her again. Crying, she dropped to her knees, but Chen just turned and walked away. After that, Wei Lai began stalking her, pretending to be friendly, acting as if they could somehow become friends.
还真挺可惜的，其实咱俩应该可以。
Chen had finally had enough of both of them. During an argument, Wei Lai began talking about Chen's mother, saying she could give her money to help pay off her debts. That pushed Chen over the edge. She shoved Wei Lai, forgetting they were on a steep staircase. Wei Lai tumbled backward, hitting her head several times as she fell. Detective Zhang later realized Chen had lied when she claimed she didn't know Xiao Bei. The surveillance footage clearly showed the boy was always by her side. Zhang showed Xiao Bei the video of Chen's assault, but the boy tried to act indifferent. In the next room, officers were pressuring Chen to confess her involvement in the murder.
站着看热闹的人吗？还是那些问为什么只有你被挑上？
To them, it was obvious. Revenge for everything Wei Lai had done. Detective Zhang begged Xiao Bei not to treat them like fools. Even after his confession, Chen remained the prime suspect. Meanwhile, the other girls told the police exactly what they thought would happen to Xiao Bei, the so-called rapist he claimed to be. They warned Chen that she might as well admit it. They believed the two of them had planned everything together. No matter how much pressure they were under, the lovers never broke up. I don't know him. Maybe we should meet now? John thought the girl wouldn't be able to handle Xiao Bei being thrown behind bars for decades. After all, no one would take the blame for murder and rape just to protect someone else. Chen's mother picked her up from the police station, and the girl returned to school. Xiao Bei's friends were beaten up again, and he himself was sent to prison. Chen and Xiao Bei both remembered how good they had been together. Meanwhile, other kids were celebrating their high school graduation. Chen received the highest score on her exams and could get into any university in the country. Her mother was overjoyed. Detective Jean also came by to congratulate the new graduate, but Chen no longer spoke to him. Then Jean shared some news. Xiao Bei had been sentenced to death. Because of the seriousness of his crimes, the court issued a quick verdict. It turned out Xiao Bei had lied to Chen about being underage. Chen burst into tears and asked John to leave them alone. Why wouldn't he let at least one of them go free? Chen hit and bit a police officer, and then Xiao Bei confessed that he had lied. The verdict hadn't been finalized yet, but he was facing decades in prison. Chen would have gotten only a couple of years. In the end, Chen decided to confess to everything. The detective brought her to meet Xiao Bei, and they stopped pretending. They saw each other, they smiled, laughing and crying at the same time. A diligent student and a troublemaker. What an odd pair. Chen admitted she felt lighter, as if she had finally passed her last exam. She was sentenced to 4 years in prison. Years later, Chen became an English teacher. One day, she noticed a struggling student and didn't ignore her. She listened to the girl's problems and walked her home afterward. And just like before, somewhere out there, Xiao Bei still follows Chen, always watching over the girl he loves. And that was the heartbreaking yet powerful story of Better Days. Drop a comment below. What did you think about Chen and Xiao Bei's ending? If this story touched your heart, don't forget to subscribe and turn on the notification bell so you never miss the next movie recap that'll hit you right in the feels.
If you want more movie explainers like this, comment the next movie name. And subscribe to K.Movie.E Explain at K.Movie.E for more. Please visit to our Instagram and Facebook page. Thank you so much for watching till the end.